we present the most powerful and creative tool in the world. You. Bring your talent. Saleslayer does the rest.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in the world.
Yeah.
And welcome to everyone who's just joined us for the webinar. My name is Carl Richardson, and welcome to a Saleslayer webinar entitled, Why Are Marketers Talking About PIM? Today I'm here with Saleslayer CEO and co-founder Alvaro Verdoy, and I'll be getting his thoughts on why and how the subject has become so important, how to make it a priority, and choosing the right solution for your company. But first, a little housekeeping. Should any of you have any questions or comments during the webinar, please place them in the chat box on the right-hand panel on the screen and leave your email address there. We will answer you directly. Also, please note a recording of the webinar will be available after the event, and we will send you a link. We will send all attendees a link.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right, welcome Alvaro. Perhaps you could give us a brief history and maybe a little bit of background on what Saleslayer is.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you everyone for attending. This is our first webinar. We will talk about the basics of product information management. As this is the first webinar, we will be happy to get some feedback at the end. And well, feedback about our background about Saleslayer. Well, I personally started 10 years ago as IT consultant or technology consultant for developing custom software for industrial companies, especially with marketing departments. And for years, in my previous company, we found that all our customers at that time were struggling managing product information. That translated into spreadsheets and silos of information everywhere. So that's why in 2013, after some prototypes with customers, some ideas that we have in mind, we decided to close all our ventures and focus on the startup and the growth of Saleslayer. Our mission basically has been to provide the easiest to use PIM solution in the market. Many other vendors, PIM vendors, have developed their solutions with IT departments in mind. We started from scratch, but always with marketing departments in mind. That's one of our key differences. Right. Of course, with a solution that is useful for other departments, but that puts in the center, in the middle, the marketing departments. What can I say also about Saleslayer? Well, we are a globally oriented company with the aim of being one of the top 10 players in our market segment. And to achieve that, we are, of course, I have to say this, always listening to our customers to improve or to adapt our product roadmap in terms of functionalities. And especially I want to mention our terrific partners. We've been working closely with them for many years because they offer industry-specific solutions and also complementary solutions to our PIM. And we can do even much more and offer a more adapted solution or more integrated solution to our customers.
All right, so
and we love working with them.
Good. So you're sitting your sights high at top 10, huh?
Yeah.
Good.
Exactly.
That's good.
That's very challenging, by the way.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you mentioned PIM for marketers. Do you want to give us a little explanation and maybe explain the challenges behind what that is?
Well, yeah. For us, a PIM for marketers is a PIM that is easy to use, right? Because marketers are not technically oriented, are more users of technology, and that's it.
Okay.
I mean, marketers don't think about functionalities and about complexity. They think I want something that works and that does what I need.
Exactly.
quickly, understandable, and easy, right? And that's why we are the PIM for marketers.
Good.
Because
So not
it just
creators
works.
themselves, like technicians, for example. Technicians could speak to you on a technical level, but this is mainly for marketers themselves who need the day-to-day without understanding the back end.
Exactly, because if we offer a solution that is the best friend of marketing teams, but they are always dependent on IT and external consultants, then makes no sense. Because
Exactly.
every change, any update that you need to do on the platform, that is daily. It's done on a daily basis because the market is changing all the time. You need external help. So in this way, you can do it internally.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So moving along a little bit, right? Why is product information so important for marketers? I mean, there are a lot of people that could be listening to this webinar that do understand why it's important, but for those that don't, for those who come from like a different background, why is product information really important?
Well, because today is one of the biggest challenges in marketing. I consider personally, and we consider at Saleslayer, of course, that PIM is the most important tool in the digital transformation process. Most of things of the company have been already automated. Logistics, inbound marketing, for instance, are automated, but product information, it's not. Okay, and the first symptom of product information chaos is that time when a customer, when a sales rep, okay, your sales team or anyone asks you about product information. So please send me that photo, a high resolution photo, or send me those specifications of these assortment of products. And you start thinking, okay, where is that information? I need to check because I don't remember what's the last version or what is it. So that's the first symptom. And the challenge is clear. The challenge and why it's so important is because we have to manage thousands of images, descriptions, specifications that have to be managed not only in a paper catalog like 10 years ago. Now is in a growing number of sales channels. We have that paper catalog, but we also have our technical spec sheets. We have also our website, maybe a mobile app for our sales reps. Our customers are asking for product information in a very specific manner as well. So is really challenging. And you ask me, why is that important, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm sure that if we have marketing people in this webinar listening, they know it better than me. Well, because in my opinion, product content is the key driver. It's a key driver. For instance, in this example that we have here, right now, in countries like US, Amazon is the first source of information for users that are researching on consumer electronics. 6 years ago, it was Google. Over 70% of research was starting in Google, but now it's in Amazon. And the reason is because they literally have the biggest and the most enriched database of consumer electronics. So users find more convenient to go to Amazon and research. And that's a big problem for retailers, because if you have people researching on a website that is one click away from buying the product and then can do remarketing and all these things, what can the rest of the retailers do, right?
Yeah.
So even Google is struggling with this. It's really amazing how, and of course there are many reasons why Amazon is so big, so important, but for me, the key driver has been that they have the biggest catalog.
Absolutely. And with the most accurate data out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they started to be the biggest, not the best,
Yeah.
in terms of curation.
Yeah.
But they've been investing for years a lot, especially in some categories like product, like consumer electronics.
Yeah.
and they are really good. They have improved a lot, and with the help of the brands itself,
Exactly.
in
Okay.
reaching the content.
I mean, that being said, everything that you're saying seems really focused on retailers specifically, and companies that sell online. But if I don't sell online, if I don't sell online because I'm a B2B company, like, how would this help me?
Well, that's a question that we get a lot. As I said, every retailer is trying to compete against Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, building the largest database in their industry to compete. And where do they get that information from? From manufacturers, from their suppliers, from the brands, right? So even if you are not selling online, your customer is selling online, okay, and is competing in the online world. And even that, your customer, but also the end user, might be looking for information on your corporate website as well. Buying on the retailer, but could be checking your website to compare information. So there are B2B companies that have e-commerce departments, and they don't sell online. But that department is just to provide help or to provide any information that customers that do sell online require.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so in some organizations, right, bits of information are held in many different places, like what you were explaining, in the start of this webinar. What organizational issues and workflow processes can, sorry, let me rephrase. What organizational issues and workflow processes need to be considered in regards to this?
Okay. Well, for instance here, for that chaos that we were saying before, managing thousands of images, descriptions, and specifications that are everywhere in the company.
Yeah.
First step is to centralize the information in one place, to have only one database where everyone can work collaboratively.
Okay.
Everyone on the same version, everyone the same content, okay, where you can then connect with the different sales channels and try to automate the different platforms like your website, paper catalog, retailers, Excels, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the first, and I'm being a bit more specific. When the information is scattered, like we can see here, the idea is to put a little bit of order and to get the information that is already on the ERP system, on an FTP, on different spreadsheets, and any other internal platforms, and in Saleslayer or in your PIM, and then connecting. We always say one product specification should be entered only one time in the entire value chain of the company. Okay. So if you have already entered information on the ERP about, for instance, the SKU or the EAN number, then it should be automatically synchronized with your PIM system and as well with your different sales channels. Okay. So that's when you start thinking about PIM, you have to have that idea in mind, that one spec, enter one time.
Okay, so when you say centralize, you don't just mean to centralize the data itself, but also to centralize the channel of how the information is distributed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So that's what is called the single source of truth. Normally, PIM is considered that. So a place. So if you have Excels and you have the information scattered, you don't know what is the last version of each document, or if it's the best information that you have. But if you have a PIM, you know that the best information, the most accurate information, the information where everyone has been working on is there. And if you find an error and you fix it, will be fixed forever and will be fixed for everyone and for your sales channels. So I think this concept of the single source of truth is very accurate, and I like it.
Okay, so you were talking briefly about new products, right? New product introduction into the PIM, and it being the single source of truth, right? How easy is that to do? It sounds like a huge task, right? And how long will it take to make these updates? What difference does a PIM make to just manually inserting in an Excel?
Yeah, well, I can show you. How it works with PIM. I don't know which one I'm going to find here. Which PIM? Oh, look! Oh, Saleslayer.
Oh, randomly chose that one.
Yeah, randomly.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to talk about ourselves and about how amazing we are. I want to talk about the concept of PIM. So, our main competitor right now. So companies already have a PIM. It's called Microsoft Excel.
Yeah.
They are our main competitor. And managing the information on the Excels might work for just one channel. But if I have multiple channels, it's so crazy because I need different versions of this Excel where each column is a specification, each line is a product, and it's so crazy to work with this. I've been working for years with this kind of Excels, and it really is a nightmare. So moving from this Excel and importing all this content to Saleslayer, I could show you that it's just 1 minute. It is so quick. And once you have the information here, it's really convenient because you have superpowers. You have superpowers. For instance, I can search for products, like blue products, like this. I can manually edit one product. Okay. This account is very basic because it's a demo with not much information. But I can, for instance, redesign the form to personalize the look and feel and the information that is on each product page. What else? I can work in this list view. I can work in this Excel view that I think is the best from both worlds because you combine the filters of the PIM with the simplicity or the or the power of Excel. I mean, in the sense that if you're familiar with Excel, it gives you best from both worlds. So, for instance, I can choose some more fields and let's say that, okay, this product I want to, I select first, the columns that I want to work with. And then I can work in an Excel manner, updating in bulk, and you see that saves in real time. So this means that next time that this content is going to be synchronized with my website, or I'm going to export a new Excel, or I'm going to do whatever with this content, or anyone's going to come and check, this change is going to be already live.
Okay, so I mean, the only problem that I see with that is that if I have got this as my PIM, what about if I mess up and I change too many fields and I'm not supposed to change them? Like what happens then?
Well, you can do. It could happen with Excel as well. Okay, so yes, we have here an area called recent activity where I can see who did that big mess. Okay, and I can recover a backup and go back in time.
Wicked. Okay.
Okay, so I can restore. I click on here, and
job done.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. This is like, well, I went back to the past, and I could go back to the future, right? There are other functionalities. Then once the information is enriched and is on the platform, I can connect with any other system using these custom connectors. But to make it even more easy, we have developed our own plug-and-play connectors that are plugins for WooCommerce, PrestaShop, and all different marketplaces and retailers, where you can synchronize your information, and you don't have to deal with APIs.
Okay.
Also, you can. This is quite useful as well. You can track the completeness of your product information field by field to see who is the responsible for each field. You can manage the translations from here in a central manner. You have a gallery of images and files. You can connect it with your FTP server, with Dropbox. There's so many things that you can do that you can't do with with Excel. Okay, this is the 90s, and this is superpowers.
That's true.
Right.
But I mean, okay, so this all looks amazing, but as always, when it comes to marketing companies or any company in general, right? Bottom line.
Yes.
Bottom line is, what is this going to cost? Marketing teams are always under pressure for, sticking under budgets and making sure that, the most profit possible has to be there. So what is this going to do?
Well, yeah. It has happened. So we constantly hear, when we go to visit companies, they say, oh, look, I love your product. And I don't know where have you been all these years. Because we need you, or I need you, my department needs you, but you need to please help me and convince my boss or my team.
Exactly, yeah.
So normally what I use with C-level executives, there are other concepts like ROI and things like that, and the return on investment, but I love this slide here. The three pillars in a company are logistics, customers, and products. Every single company that we know has already automated the logistics with the ERP system. Also has automated their customer relationships with the CRM, so all the information is there. And so the next step is to automate and centralize the product information in a PIM. So that means that by 2025, you can say every single company in the world will have a PIM. Every company. The question that I can ask my boss could be, look, we will have a PIM. Yes or yes? So do we want to be leaders or laggards? And that usually works quite well, because sooner or later you will have to do the investment. And that's it. Also logistics. So this is for the logistic department. The CRM is for salespeople, and again, as I said, the PIM is for marketers.
Exactly.
So again, I think this is a good way to convince C-level executives.
Absolutely, without getting told off, but just trying to spend money. All right. So for me, PIM sounds like the right solution, right? In general, PIM sounds like an amazing idea. Centralize everything, doesn't exactly break the bank, and it will become an integral part of your day-to-day marketing, right? But saying that, there are a lot out there, right? And how would you choose? Like, how do you know that this is the right PIM for you, or another 3 PIMs might not be the right one for you? Like, how do you choose that?
Well, there are awesome solutions out there. We are not the only one. And said that we could do an entire webinar on how to choose the right PIM solution. But to choose it, I think we should have in mind what I need it for. Okay. And in the case of the ERP, we need it, as I said, for logistics. So we need a solution that is very reliable and that is always structured the same way.
Okay.
Repetitive things that for years have worked the same way. Okay. If we move to CRMs, we are talking about sales departments, and we might be very interested in mobility because they are always visiting clients and moving around. And again, the information, the structure is quite static because sales processes tend to be always the same. And so once you've found your configuration of this or your CRM, then it's always the same. But when we talk about PIM and we talk about marketing, we are talking about constant changes all the time because marketing is changing, the requirements of customers, they ask you for something today, but tomorrow is going to be different. They will drive you crazy. And so we need agility and we need dynamic infrastructure, always changing. Of course, we need also reliability and mobility, but the key things are agility and the dynamic infrastructure.
All right.
Having that in mind, then, starting with this, then you can think about, okay, I want something open source, I want something software as a service, on-premise, cloud, there are different options, and maybe we can do a webinar talking about that.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so just to touch a little bit on the agility, dynamic infrastructure, etc. I've heard the term floating around, time to value. Now, what does time to value mean for marketers, and how important is it that a PIM can provide this?
Well, it's an interesting concept. It is similar to the ROI concept, but instead of measuring time to economic return, it measures effectiveness, time to effectiveness. For instance, my customer is asking for some specific product information. So how long am I taking to provide that information, to provide that value? My sales team is traveling to Russia to a trade fair, and they need a specific hard copy of my catalog with a specific assortment of products. Am I able to provide that value, that information in the given time? The market has changed. How quickly I'm going to react? So we usually think about how much money I'm going to save. Okay, but we should think how better I'm going to be, and if I'm not quick enough, how much money I'm losing meanwhile, right? So that's why time to value is a really interesting concept, and PIM can help in your, not only in your ROI, that for sure,
yeah,
but also on your time to value.
Okay. All right. So we are trying to keep this under 30 minutes. So just a quick sum up. Like, what is the main points that everyone listening? What is the main point that you would like them to take away from today?
Well, we've been talking about different things, mainly about the basics of product information management. But, well, we've talked about how PIM is helping or meeting the challenges of modern marketers. We've been talking about how to convince our organization to really buy, or that you need a PIM or we need a PIM. How to choose the right PIM for your organization, what are the key factors, and also this concept of time to value, plus the concept of the unique source of truth. So I will take these 3 or 4 elements as a summary.
It's a good summary.
Yeah.
All right. Alvaro, thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
It's been enlightening. It's been great.
Okay. Do we have time for questions?
We unfortunately don't have time for questions this time. We thought we were going to have a little bit more, maybe like 5 minutes to answer questions and stuff. But like we said in the beginning, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat box with your email address, and we'll get back to you. If you're lucky, you might even have Alvaro get back to you.
Yeah, I'll try to reply all the questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to directly answer those emails.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
Well, thanks again for your time. Mm-hmm. And ladies and gents, we will see you again soon.
Thank you.